Today I'm running the Chevron Houston Marathon in support of the Epilepsy Foundation. I've always been into sports, into baseball, into being outside, and then I found running. It's evolved into a big part of my life. It was the fall of 2009 when I was diagnosed with epilepsy. Here I was at 18, being told I had epilepsy, and with epilepsy, you lose a lot of freedoms. You can't drive, can't really go on your own. As frustrating as it can be, not having any alone time, you got to recognize that person, that friend, that family member, they're there because they love you. As the years went by, I was having more seizures, maybe 3 to 4 to 5 to 12 a week, and these seizures that were once small, complex seizures evolved into grand mal seizures. One time I was playing golf with my father and my dad's cousin and his son, and we were having a great day playing golf, and hit my tee shot, and then I walked off and started having a seizure, and no one saw me leave, but after it was time to go down the hole, they looked around saying, "Where's James?" Couldn't find me, and they panicked, started running around saying, "Where is he? He must have walked off and had a seizure." And then there was a lake behind the tee box, and they ran back there, and sure enough, I was in the lake face down. My dad saved my life. That's pretty tough. That's incredible though. And the second time I had a near run-in with death, I was hanging out with my best friend. He is my longtime best friend. He knows me inside and out, and we were hanging out, and I had a couple seizures that day. He was monitoring me and whatnot, and I got up and walked off, and next thing I know, I woke up 2 weeks later in the burn unit in Memorial Hermann, and I look around my body, and I'm in a body cast, essentially. I can't move. I'm hooked up to a breathing tube, a feeding tube, and my body's not functioning on its own. And a doctor comes in and explains to me that I burned over 45% of my body to the second, third, and fourth degree. And my mind was blown. I'm thinking, how did this happen? And as it turns out, I was hanging out with my buddy at our house, and somehow had a seizure and walked off. And I had somehow turned on a gas stove, and I caught my entire t-shirt on fire, and the shirt burned very well to the point where I've got a full t-shirt of scars on my body now. And the scars, they run up to my jawline. You know what, there's dark days in everyone's life regardless of what you have, but when I was given epilepsy at 18, first thing most people do is ask, why me? Why am I the guy that has to be the 1 in 26, which is the epileptic stat, 1 in 26 people who suffer from seizures? Why is it me that has to have epilepsy? And I realized that you can ask yourself that and place guilt elsewhere, and place guilt on God, place guilt on your parents, place guilt on doctors, and just say this is unfair. But it's just so unfair to everybody else. The more you search for that question and to find the answer for why me, the more frustration you pile on yourself, the more just anger you build. You become so much harder to deal with. And I recognize that in myself. After a couple of years, I was thinking to myself, why am I letting this disability affect me? If I'm going to live with this the rest of my life, which is something I had to prepare for, I can't be overwhelmed by this disability. I'd rather overwhelm this disability, show them who I am, and just be myself. So I transformed that question of why me into looking every day and be like, you know what? I'm proud it's me. I'm proud to be the one to be the epileptic, because now I can go around creating awareness for the disability, I can go around and just try to glow a positive, upbeat personality to offer hope to other people who have epilepsy, to offer hope to people that have epilepsy and struggle. So as my epilepsy developed, you really get in the hospital, you really try to figure out what's going on as quickly as possible. And I went to, I tried out one hospital in Austin and went to a couple of doctors, got a brain scan, an EEG, and to map my brain, the signals. And the doctors, the neurosurgeons there said, I'm not a candidate for surgery, but we can go on this medicine. So it was, take medicine for the time being, wait for a possible cure. And medicine doesn't work for everybody. Medicine did not work on me. I was going through expensive medicine and still having seizures at least 3 or 4 times a week. And we got connected to the Cleveland Clinic. That's a very good hospital from what we had heard. They had an advanced surgery called an SEEG, where they implant electrodes on the parts of the brain that they think are the firing regions of your epilepsy. So I had a surgery in Cleveland. They implanted electrodes on my brain, and from there I thought that if I have seizures with these electrodes, they can really map out all the signals and really figure out the source. And I was there about 3 weeks doing tests and stuff, and thought there was promise there, but the surgeon once again said, we think we know where it's coming from, the left side, maybe the temporal lobe, but we're not positive. So we can do a surgery, but you might be a 20% success rate. So you're weighing out pros and cons, and it's not really worth it to have a brain surgery that can hinder your speech, hinder your memory, and leave you with seizures. So at that point, it wasn't worth it, but you got to keep going. The day moves on. You got to keep going in your research. You got to keep going in your fight. Someone got connected with us, with my parents, my family, and directed us to a doctor at Memorial Hermann. His name was Dr. Nitin Tandon. He said, you should go see this doctor. He's an incredible surgeon. He knows what he's doing. He will find your cure, we promise. And like any good pointer, we followed it, and we took him up on it. We talked to Dr. Tandon, and we gave him all of my data, all of my images, brain images, data from every hospital I've been to. We gave it all to him and said, here it is. If you want to study it, go ahead. And he studied it, and he went through just about every single thing we gave him. And sure enough, he called us back about a month later and said, I got some good news for you. I'd like to meet you in person. And my ears kind of perked up, thinking, wow, this is great. And at the same time, I'm thinking this is great, but I've also heard many doctors give me the uplifting promise and kind of, fall down and not fulfill it. So I built up some confidence, but then again, I wasn't trying to get over my skis, thinking I was being cured. I met Dr. Tandon at his hospital, and we looked at my brain on his computer, and he circled an area that no other doctor has pointed out to me, and it was abnormal. And he said, James, this is your trigger right here. And he said, if you let me go in there and remove this point, this trigger point, he said, I think he told me he was about 95% confident that I wouldn't have any more seizures. And he also said, if you continue to seize like you are today, you're gonna die. And so you're looking at that, you're looking at the pros of a 95% success surgery versus any seizure during the day where I might die. And I was thinking to myself, there should be no delay in going with that surgery. So it was March 21st where we talked about the surgery, and then I agreed right there, let's do it. And went into surgery on March 24th, Friday morning, March 24th, 2017, and we went in there, he made a big old cut. He took out a section, he said, the size of his thumbnail, and I woke up, and days went by, and seizures stayed away. Months went by, the seizures stayed away. three months went by and I got my driver's keys back. I was driving. And then things started just falling in place. I mean, I got my life back right after that. So it was March 24th of 17, and today I am just completely confident that my epilepsy is gone.